Yo, what is up, people? What is going on? Good evening. You are now tuned in to Sports Talk with Skeletor. I'm your host, Skeletor, coming to you live from the SV Hospital here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, to discuss with you today's Major League Baseball games that were played. We will be discussing the results of the games as well as the standings and the playoff picture. So, without further ado, make sure if you do like the content of this stream, podcast, whatever you want to call it, show, talk show, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and share with your friends and families out there. And let them know, like, hey, my boy Skeletor is hooking it up with some sports. Let's jump right up into it with the first game of the day. It was the Diamondbacks taking on the Chicago Cubs. That game was played at Wrigley Field, with the Arizona Diamondbacks beating the Cubs by a score of 1, while Chicago had 3 hits and 2 errors. It was a complete game for Gallen, who went 9 innings with allowing only 3 hits, 1 walk, and 9 strikeouts. The game strong with 1 hit, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. He was not the one who gave up the earned run. The earned run went to Kulas, who went 1/3 of an inning. He allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and of course the earned run. So again, that game held at Wrigley Field. The next game of the marquee day was the Seattle Mariners. They took on the Tampa Bay Rays. That game featured the Tampa Bay Rays winning by a score of 7-4. Tampa Bay had 7 runs on 8 hits, while Seattle had 4 runs on 7 hits. Seattle used 3 pitchers, with Kirby going 6 1/3, 5 hits, 4 earned runs allowed, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. On the other hand, we had the Tampa Bay Rays, who basically had the game there, winning it. Bradley went 6 1/3 innings. He had 6 hits, 4 earned runs allowed, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. That game today was played at Tropicana Field. Our next game of the day was the White Sox taking on the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers were shut out there in in Detroit by the score of 6-0. It was a 3-hitter for Chicago, as they had 6 runs on 8 hits. Detroit with only 3 hits allowed. That game today featured the Chicago White Sox using 3 pitchers, with Clevenger going 7 strong, allowing 3 hits and 7 strikeouts. That game played at Comerica Park out there in Detroit. The next game that we have for you, of course, would be my boy Greg Williams' St. Louis Cardinals beating up on the Cincinnati Reds 9-4. That game today, Cincinnati had 9 runs on 9 hits, while Cincinnati had 4 runs on 10 hits with 1 error. That game today was brought to you in part by the Great American Ball, 16 hits. Wow. Whew. And the New York Yankees had 2 runs on 3 hits with 2 errors. That game, unfortunately, was horrendously horrible for the Yankees for sure. Anyway, our next game that featured some game today was Miami Marlins 3-2. That game, of course, played in Philadelphia. And that game was played at Citizens Bank Park. Miami had 3 runs on 7 hits. Philadelphia 2 runs on 5. They won by having 8 runs on 10 hits, while Washington Nationals had 5 runs on 6 hits. So that was pretty interesting there. Toronto, the Blue Jays beating up Kansas City by a score of 5-4. That game, of course, played in Toronto, I believe in the Skydome, right? That's where they still play at. No, excuse me, Rogers Center. Okay, same difference. Either way, the game's Canadian or the team's Canadian, so they were up there. No offense to the Canadians, I know I made that sound really, really bad. The Royals are having a horrible season. Sorry, Big Bushy. It's just how it's happening. And Kansas City surprisingly won the World Series years ago, and now they're right back where they were. Texas Rangers hosting the Oakland Athletics. The A's are still in talks to moving to Las Vegas, but however, doubling up, I should say, on the Rangers by a score of 6-3. Then the Padres put up a huge number, the same as the Orioles Red Sox game. They won against the Astros by the score of 11-2. That game was held in Houston. The Mets, however, on the other hand, played the Minnesota Twins in Minnesota. The Twins won that game 5-2. Guardians have won the game 6-3, and the final just in. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this year's baseball scores, highlights, whatever you want to call it. It is going to be a wild one. Right now, your boy SKELETOR is going to discuss with you the Major League playoff standings and pictures of what is going on. And here we go. The Baltimore Orioles right now have a standing. They lead the AL East by a 4-game lead over Tampa Bay Rays. Minnesota is 6.5 games in front of the Cleveland Guardians. While on the other hand, we have the Astros still holding a half-game lead over the Mariners. Astros are 80-62, while the Mariners are 79-62. It's all a matter of a game. Then, on the other hand, what do we have here? The National League, of course. The Atlanta Braves with a 15-game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies. You can safely say the Braves are in the playoffs. The Braves, with possibly the best record in the major leagues, had 92-48. In the NL Central, the Brewers are 3 games in front of the Chicago Cubs, who are 76-66. Cardinals look to be out of the picture, unfortunately, Mr. Greg Williams. That game right there, the Cardinals is on the Diamondbacks. That is huge. So it is. Those are the teams that are leading their divisions. Wild card is not discussed, of course. Well, here is the wild card standings for you guys. We give you the update on that picture real quick here, provided by MLB.com. And the top 2 division winners in each league will receive byes to the division series. The other 4 teams in each league will play the best of 3 series in the wild card round, with the higher seed hosting all 3 games. Right now, Baltimore, Houston, and Minnesota, East, West, and the Central, they hold the top 3 spots right there. Wildcard seeds will go as follows: Tampa Bay, Seattle, and Toronto. Texas is a game and a half back of the wild card. Boston is 6 games out. The Yankees are 8 games, believe it or not. And that would be the teams right there for, excuse me, getting stuck here. In the National League East, Atlanta, like I said, with the best record there, 92-48, is their record currently as we speak. The West, the LA Dodgers are 87, only a half game in front of Miami, and a game and a half in front of Cincinnati, and 2.5 games out in front of the San Francisco Giants. So that again is pretty intensifying and weirded out. So yeah, like I said, I'm trying something different other than DJing, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it. and having fun. Let me know who's your team, who you guys got. Cubs. Got the Royals playing the Blue Jays again, Dodgers playing the Nationals, Mariners playing the Rays, the Orioles once again in Boston against the Red Sox, the Marlins would be playing Philadelphia, Chicago going against the Astros, while the Pittsburgh Pirates would be playing the best team in baseball, the Atlanta Braves. And to conclude the games for tomorrow, Rockies will play the Giants in the late game, only being at 6:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, will be the Cleveland Guardians and the Anaheim Angels. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, that is all the news I have for you today or tonight on Major League Baseball. Tomorrow is college football's game. Tune in tomorrow night for my top 25 results of the games that were played, and we'll get everything going. Are there going to be some upsets tomorrow? You'll just have to wait and find out. Again, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow me here on my YouTube channel. This is Skeletor. You can follow me by either looking me up, Joseph DJ Skeletor Santana, or you can look me up by hitting the @ button Skeletor708. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe out there. Remember, if you're going to gamble on any sports that I follow, do not use my information that I provide. My information that I share with you fine folks is provided only for entertainment purposes and for those who cannot catch a sports game, sports results, maybe because they're hanging out with their wives, girlfriends, they're at work, and they need something to tune into and listen to. So, in a way, it's like a talk show slash podcast. But hey, who knows? It's going to grow. And if it does grow, hell, I'm going to keep on doing it. You've been tuned in to the Sports Talk Show with your boy Skeletor. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful evening and good night to you. Stay safe.